rooftop.
Hi guys, it's Kenzie. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you're old here, welcome back. Today's video is going to be something so different, but something I'm really excited about. If you guys watch my live streams, you know I'm obsessed with storytelling on YouTube. I'm obsessed with anything paranormal. My house is literally haunted. If you guys haven't seen my personal paranormal story times, I will link them down below in the description for you guys. Some of my favorite YouTubers who tell weird stories or like case stories. I love Bella Fiore. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I love Courtney C. Jades, something like that, here on YouTube. I'm gonna link all of them down below as well because they are amazing at this. I also have a bit of a cold, so I sound a little nasally and I'm really sorry, but it is like midnight and I really just wanted to film this video for you guys. I'm really nervous to do this. I don't want to be copying anybody, so that's why I'm giving all credit to them. I don't know who started this kind of trend on YouTube, but I am fully invested in it. I've also been fully invested and obsessed with Reddit's no sleep subreddit type thing for a couple years now. If you guys find really cool stories you want me to read next, make sure to leave them in the comments below, or you can tweet me them if that's easier. I also wanted to say that this will be my last video before Vlogmas, because yes, I'm doing Vlogmas, which is a vlog every single day up until Christmas, and I am so excited for Christmas. I know I talked a bunch before this story and that won't happen every time, but I just had a lot of announcements and I kind of want to introduce this world if you guys haven't been used to this kind of storytelling on YouTube. So yeah, let's get started. I will also link this story down below if you guys want to read it for yourselves. This story is called Don't Ever Answer a Call from Your Own Number. I received the first call at 7 in the morning. There I was, eyes closed and soundly snoring under the comfort of a heavy blanket, when the ascending clanderous jangle of my phone's ringtone broke the spell of beautiful sleep. Naturally, I thought to myself, as consciousness was forced upon me. I let it ring until it stopped, though I was more than a bit annoyed at being roused from such a satisfying slumber. I soon slipped back into the grasp of sweet dreams. I woke an hour later. I had coffee, brushed my teeth, hopped in the shower, and inspected my reflection in the mirror to make sure I was still passable as mildly attractive. Not going downhill yet, Timothy, I said to myself, as I did every morning in some sort of ego-enforcing ritualistic exercise. At 8:25, with my monkey suit neatly in place, I headed out the door and down 4 floors via elevator, ready to start my day at Crawford, & Reynolds. You guessed it, a law firm gopher. My phone began to vibrate in my blazer pocket, as it periodically does when a call is missed and the notification has gone unseen. Maybe I won another Caribbean cruise, I thought sarcastically to myself. When I flipped it open, I saw this. Missed call, November 7th, 7 a.m. This was odd because this was my phone number. I puzzled over it briefly when the elevator gave a ding. As the door slid open, I gave a shrug, grunted a quick humph, and was done with the matter. The rest of the day was mundanely routine. I won't bore you with the details. Suffice to say that despite the suit, my job entailed making a lot of coffee, Xeroxing a lot of paper, and speaking my office time catchphrases to waiting clientele. Mr. Crawford will see you now. After work, I met my best friend Ben at the Tonic Manhattan. My accent. A sort of trendy hipster meets corporate bar that I frequented often to unwind or pick up girls. There was more photocopying than usual today and I was a bit fatigued, so trying to get laid was really not my game plan. So this dipshit who took the bar exam 5 fucking times was made a goddamn associate, Ben said, as we glugged down our mugs. Everyone was a dipshit to Ben, except me of course. But that exception likely only extended to me so long as I was in his company. And you want to know why? Because his goddamn last name is Seymour and the old man thought it was quaint. Ben was a junior associate for Seymour and Seymour Law and always had an axe to grind about something related to his work. I was beginning to get bored of his complaints when God granted me a small favor, or at least I thought so. My phone began to ring. Hey Ben, I gotta head out, pal. This is very important. I looked down at the call screen and saw it again. Incoming call. My number. What the? I said, not really to anyone. What's up, Ben said. This is the second time today I've gotten a call from my own number. Ben's face went from mildly indifference to childlike interest, and before I could do anything, he pulled the phone from my hand and flipped it open. Yo, this is Benjamin, he spoke into the receiver. Speak, dickhead, he said after a few seconds of silence. He turned to me when no reply came. Your shit is proverbially whack. I snatched the open phone back and pressed it to my ear. Hello? Hello? My own voice repeated after a second's delay. The beginning sounded weird, almost like a backwards echo that had been corrected right before the first syllable. This is Tim, who is calling. Who is calling? This is Tim. I was a bit unnerved. Of course, I had experienced the universal phone echo before, as I'm sure most people who have used a telephone have, but this just sounded strange, like my repeating voice was affected by some kind of reverse reverb. Add to that this was my own number calling, and I'm sure that vague drop I felt in my stomach was understandable. I was about to hang up, but the voice, my voice, spoke again. "You're not going downhill, Timothy. Yet." I closed the phone, downed my beer, and put a crisp 20 on the bar table and made to leave. "Alright, Dick," I heard Ben shout in the background. "You don't have to say goodbye or anything." Under normal circumstances, I would have shot back the old "fuck you too, Ben." These weren't normal circumstances, and right then I could give zero fucks about Ben. If I was stirred getting a call from my own number or hearing my own voice repeat back to me in some kind of unnatural reverse echo, then I was completely shaken by that last line. "You're not going downhill, Timothy. Yet." That line kept playing in my head as I walked hurriedly down the street, and I could still hear it as I got to my car. I started the engine, reversed like a son of a bitch without any semblance of caution, and sped my way home. When I stepped through the front door, I made a beeline for the restroom. I inspected the mirrors, cabinets, and every crook and cranny for something to make this make sense. I must have looked like a crack addict searching for the bit of inconspicuous hidden meth. It had worked in my head that maybe someone had been recording me, though why I couldn't imagine. Maybe someone connected to one of my boss's high-status clients, I thought as I tore up the couch, or possibly one of the many girls I've scorned looking to settle some score, I postulated as I emptied all the dresser drawers. Then a thought hit me. Or maybe Ben is just fucking with me. I didn't really buy it, but the idea eased my nerves and I forced acceptance. 5 minutes later, I was laughing, cursing Ben under forced chuckles when I made a rush job of cleaning my mess. That night, I lay myself to sleep, feigning relief, but feeling an uneasy knot in my stomach. I woke at 8 in the morning, drank my coffee, brushed my teeth, and gave my reflection a serious studying. But everything seemed normal, so I laughed and got dressed. On my way down to the street level, I caught sight of myself once more in the elevator doors. I practiced a winning smile and admired what I saw. I got so carried away that I pretty much leapt in the air when my phone rang. No. Incoming call. I let it ring to voicemail as the doors opened and hurriedly made my way to my car. But it kept ringing. It kept fucking ringing. It rang as I started the engine. It rang as I drove down the 405. It rang and rang until I snapped and answered. "Cut the shit, Benjamin." "Cut the shit, Benjamin," my voice replied. The echo sounded faster now. The obscene silence that preceded my myriad words had become an awkward pause. I don't know why, but that still terrified me. I hung up the phone, pulled out the battery, and put the pieces in my jacket's breast pocket. The action did little to comfort me, but I was able to get through most of the workday. That was until the final hour. I was sitting in front of Mr. Crawford's desk, the father, not the son, taking dictation as he spoke aloud about strategies for pursuing a case he was retained for when my breast pocket started vibrating. My forehead was instantly dripping in a cold sweat. My fingers kept typing, Crawford kept speaking, and my phone, it kept silently buzzing. "I took out your battery," my mind screamed. "Timothy, are you gonna silence that damn vibrating phone of yours?" Crawford shouted, breaking his stream of thought mid-sentence. I stood up, reached into my pocket, and pulled out my tacked phone. "I'm sorry, Mr. Crawford, There, outside the office windows, I saw him stroll by. I saw me stroll by. "I gotta go." I ran out the room, leaving very flustered bosses screaming after me. The words "you're finished" were used, but I wasn't really thinking about job security. Back door, my mind automatically instructed as I sprinted down the office hall, bumped into one of the reception girls, and sent hundreds of papers flying. "Get up, don't apologize, back door." I did just that, but I couldn't stop myself from stealing a look back towards the front of the office. I saw the doors open. I saw me, step in. That son of a bitch smiled at me, a big, toothy, shit-eating grin. I ran out, jumped in my car, and for the second time in 2 days, tore asphalt like a maniac down the Los Angeles roadscape. I wasn't really thinking, otherwise I would have gone anywhere but where I want to. My home is where we all go when our minds check out into a paralyzed horror, and we need a figurative safe blanket to hide under. When I stepped through my doors, all I wanted to do was curl up in my bed and black out, but I knew the second I was inside, the confirmation was coming. As if to cement that realization, my phone rang. With trembling hands and a cracking voice, I answered. "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" His voice was virtually inseparable from mine now, save a millisecond or two, and together we sounded like a double-tracked recording. I looked out my window, phone in hand, and saw him parking his car. My car. My God, I said to myself. My God, my doppelganger mirrored into the phone he carried. I watched him make his way to the building's entrance. He stopped and looked up at me, making a sad face, shrugging his shoulders as if to say, "I'm sorry." But the next second, he was all smiles again and resumed his walk through the building's doors. I dropped the phone and ran to the couch, pushing it against the apartment's door. I threw my hutch on top of it. In panic, I started butt resting the door with anything heavy I could drag, dresser, television, and the goddamn toaster oven. I was in a complete state of horror, heart racing, and mind useless, hands trembling. But when I heard the ding of the elevator doors opening, all I felt mere seconds before was dwarfed by the purest paralytic horror. I could only take in sights and sounds, but I could not synthesize them into thoughts. Footsteps down the hall, closer, growing louder, stopping in front of my door. I felt a warm warmth running down my leg. The sound of keys jangling, the lock turning. My eyes couldn't be wider if you pried them open with clamps. The knob turned, but the door wouldn't give. "You're going down, Timmy." His voice said calmly from outside the door. He pushed himself against the door, but my barricade held. "You were going down. Push. Timmy. Push." I don't know if I breathed in over a minute. The pushes gave way to slams, and the door opened a sliver as my barricade was forcefully pushed back. "You're really not listening." Slam. I could see bits of him now through the narrow opening. "You're going down." Slam. His voice was through the opening now, but he still couldn't make it all the way through. I fell to the floor in a fetal position and looked away. The phone was right beside me. Maybe it was inspiration from seeing it, or that my fight mechanism finally kicked on in response to my impending, well, whatever he was going to do to me. But I got an idea. It was a stupid idea, perhaps the Hail Mary of ideas, but an idea nonetheless. My doppelganger pulled his foot back from the opening, and I knew from the running steps I heard moving away from the door that his next slam would be the kill shot. I just had one chance. I flipped the phone open and dialed as I heard him begin his charge. It rang. More importantly, I couldn't hear my doppelganger outside my door. "Hello?" I heard myself answer, but I wasn't paying attention. Pulling myself up, I cautiously made my way around the toppled mess into the door's apartment. There was no one there. "Hello? How are you calling me from this number? Who is this?" Tears streamed down my face. Not tears of joy or triumph, but survival. Traumatic survival. My lips started to move. "Hey, do me, yourself, a favor and change your goddamn number," I said into the receiver before hanging up and throwing my cell onto the floor. It broke open. Circuitry flew out, and I was finally smiling. That was 2 weeks ago. I'm still recovering and probably will be for life, but I write this all now because I need to exercise the shell shock I feel and to warn you. Please don't ever answer a call from your own number. That was the story. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know it wasn't like a paranormal story, but I kind of wanted to do this really creepy story. I've been searching on No Sleep for like an hour and I couldn't find anything super interesting to tell. I'm gonna say that I don't really understand the ending that much, so if you guys have your own interpretations of what happened, leave them down below in the comments. I was reading through the comments of this story and this wasn't a true story, as many aren't on No Sleep, but he did get a call from his own number and it prompted the story, so a lot of people were confused on the ending of it, but he doesn't exactly say what happened, so I want to know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed if you aren't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!